Hi, and today we're gonna be going through cars which are actually flooding the South African market. So basically, we're gonna be focusing on Chinese cars which are actually flooding our South African market. And in order to do that and to help with the discussion of this video, I'm gonna be going through this article, not necessarily reading the article, but just showing you some of the cars which are actually flooding our market. And obviously there's positive sides of this and also there's negative sides, and I will discuss a few key points to note that most of these cars, they're not really the savior as it seems in terms of our market, especially considering the pricing and also in terms of what are you getting when you get these cars. So first of all, when we're talking about the Chinese cars, what you need to know is that most of these cars, in terms of affordability, most of them are actually outside of the affordability of a normal person, because in terms of our South African market, it's very few people who are still going to be able to pay 10,000 per month in terms of a car. Because you can see, for example, if they're saying that the cheapest BEV, so these are the ones that uses electricity or hybrid, they cost about 500,000. So I think that's the problem that I see in terms of the Chinese cars that are actually coming to our market. Some of them are actually pricey per se in terms of the pricing. Then there's still very few which we can say that they are still in the affordable range, but for people to be able to afford those cars, most of them, they have to put in a big chunk of balloon payment. You can imagine putting in 40% of balloon payment. So in terms of a brief background view, we are seeing more Chinese cars actually flooding into the South African market because the market is actually open, because VW, Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, so I'm highlighting most of the luxury brands, okay, excluding VW. You can't really say it's a luxury brand, but if you think about Audi, that Audi is a subdivision of VW, I guess you can put it in that range. So most of these car brands are actually increasing the prices of their cars. Have you seen the latest GTI? The price of the latest GTI, the price of the latest Polo, the Polo line, the higher range, the ones that has the Polo Life, they are going for around 400,000 or more. So they're actually working in terms of a slippery slope in terms of their pricing. Their prices are getting higher and higher as they include more technology. Some of the technology is useful, but some of them, if we are talking about tech, they are useless. I mean, what do you need a tech in terms of a car that can reverse its own? Just reverse the damn car. You don't need that technology, and also it's gonna be expensive when it breaks. And talking about technology, we have brands that are leading in terms of tech. We have Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi. So these cars, they have a lot of tech in them, but the problem is that as much as they have a lot of tech, they've increased the use of plastic. So these cars, in terms of durability, the durability of materials has gone down. So that's why as such we are getting a lot of cars from China flooding into the market, because these cars are getting more expensive. Because in today's market, an Audi, a normal Audi A3 is going for around 800,000. If you want an S3, for example, you have to pay 1 million for an Audi. Like for an Audi A3, it doesn't make sense. So the pricing are actually going out of control. So these manufacturers which produce luxury cars that people back in the days would be able to afford, such as a normal C-Class. A normal C-Class back in the days, you knew that if you had 400,000, 500,000, you could get a C-Class. But in today's market, a normal C-Class, the C200, you have to pay 1 million. So things are out of control, and as a result of that, we are seeing some of these cars. Some of these cars, I don't want to lie, they look weird. So we have a lot of key manufacturers such as GWM. We know it consists of the cars which are the Hava and that SUV. I forgot the name of the SUV. Then we also have other cars which fall under other subdivisions such as Omoda, which falls under Nissan. So what these Chinese manufacturers, what they're doing is that if they don't have their own dealership, they are partnering with other companies in order to help, such as servicing the cars. So Omoda, it gets serviced in a Nissan dealership. So other cars which are very popular, which frankly I can say that they've established themselves, we have the Cherry Tiggo lineup. Yeah, this one, it has a lot of nice cars. The one that I can say it's good value for money, it's the Cherry Tiggo Pro. Yeah, that one, from what I've seen and also what it offers, especially the interior and the tech, that one is good value for money in terms of Chinese cars and in terms of the materials that it offers. That one, I can give it a 9 out of 10, to be honest. It offers a lot. It will give you the performance, it will give you the leather seats, heated seats, everything. Like, there's so much leather in that car, and the pricing makes sense. So the car doesn't reach 1 million, let me put it in that sense. Whereas for cars like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, in order to get the same quality, you have to pay more than 1 million. A car that costs 1 million doesn't offer the same amount as features as these Chinese manufacturers. So this is where these Chinese manufacturers are actually coming to take over. So some of them are coming with back keys. I'm not so sure in terms of back keys. I, for one, I wouldn't buy a back key that hasn't been proven in terms of reliability and durability, especially if you're going to be using it for very intense kind of work. I don't know, like, some of these cars actually look like toys. What is this? So okay, as much as we have the Chinese cars which are coming, which they are cheaper than the German competitor, there's one problem in terms of their pricing. The problem is that most of these cars, if you look at this lineup, it's mostly SUVs, and these SUVs, they are a bit pricey. Most of them, they start from 500,000. So if the Chinese cars, they're coming to actually trying to take over the South African market, why would you price your cars for around 500,000 and you make only SUVs? Yeah, I know that the SUV market is getting very popular, but not all of us need SUV. If you're not gonna use an SUV, like, you don't need it, because they also consume more petrol and they're also more expensive in order to maintain. So that's the problem. And some other cars are just copycats of the German cars. Like, I mean, look at this. Like, you already know, there's a new Toyota that looks similar to this one. If I remember, I think it's the Land Cruiser. It looks similar to this one, and it also looks similar to the Jeep lineup. So most of these cars, I'm not so sure in terms of reliability, because they're just copycats of the German counterparts. Okay, we have a Jaguar J7. Yes, it has very useful features. It has those doors that pop up. You already know this was copied from the Land Rover lineup. And if you know anything about Land Rover, you should know that they're not the best in terms of reliability, and makes me wonder if this one is gonna be reliable. Then we have the Jaguar J8. You can already see from the lights that this one, it was copied straight from BMW lineup. So yeah, I don't know if the Chinese are being innovative, or they're just copying cars from the German counterparts. And Yeah, some of them, if you can overlook the design features, yeah, that's fine. Then there's this type of lights that is actually getting very popular. To be honest, I don't like this type of lights that are down here. Then there's a daytime running light up there. Yeah, it's not my type of thing. Then we have this one. If you know about the Toyota lineup, they do have a minibus that looks like this one, almost looks like a Quantum, that side of China. So this is a direct copy of that one. So yeah, the Chinese, they're copying cars and bringing to our market. Most of them, if I'm honest, the outside looks better than the inside. In terms of the tech from the inside, from my perspective, they're a bit disappointing and they're pricey, because most of them are priced in a $500,000 mark. If you want to buy that car, you have to take balloon payment, which means that now you have to take up to 40% balloon payment in order to bring down the installment, which I believe that that's not the way that you should buy a car. So as much as they want to take over the market, but they need to rethink their car lineup and stop making SUVs only. Make maybe even small hatchbacks that people can actually buy. That's why the Suzuki Swift is actually taking over, because it's a more affordable car instead of making all the cars to be $500,000. So yeah, that's what I think about the Chinese cars taking over the South African market, and the problem that they're gonna encounter along the way, because frankly salaries are not keeping up. It's very few people who make that kind of money who can afford to take out 10,000 per month to pay for a car, especially a Chinese car. That's a bit of a pill that's hard to swallow for most people, which can just end up even driving them further away from the Chinese car. So yeah, that's everything that I have to say for you. And if you enjoy this video, just give me a like and subscribe, and you can share your comments below in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.